Behold, New Jersey, a state where wonder hides behind toll booths and mystery flows through marshes that may or may not contain buried mobsters. Today, we embark on a journey to uncover the 7 wonders of this glorious, chaotic land. From ancient pine forests rumored to house demons, to engineered marvels like a 12-lane superhighway powered by Rage and Easy Pass. These are not your typical wonders. They are louder, they are stranger, and they are unmistakably Jersey. Welcome to a place where magic smells faintly of saltwater, gasoline, and pizza by the slice. We first welcome you to the New Jersey Turnpike, the main artery running through the state. Thick, overworked, and absolutely clogged at all times. Stretching 117 miles from the Delaware Memorial Bridge to the edge of New York, this legendary strip of asphalt is a living organism that hums, groans, and breathes diesel fumes of regret. Opened in 1951 after just 22 months of construction, because safety standards were optional back then, the Turnpike quickly became one of the busiest highways in America. Engineers designed it for efficiency, which in New Jersey means 12 to 14 lanes of controlled chaos, split into inner and outer roadways, so cars and trucks don't immediately kill each other. This design was so advanced that the interstate highway system later copied it. That's right, America looked at New Jersey and said, "Let's do that." From above, the Turnpike cuts arrow straight through flat land like a concrete migration path. At night, its tall lights glow like runway beacons guiding herds of angry commuters north and south. Tractor trailers travel in packs. Sedans dart between them like nervous fish. No one is relaxed. No one is happy. This is nature in motion. Culturally, the Turnpike is sacred ground. Ask a New Jerseyan where they're from, and they won't name a town. They'll say an exit. This road has appeared in songs, films, and TV like a recurring background character, with unresolved anger issues. America talks about counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike. It shows up in The Sopranos, and even in Being John Malkovich, where characters are casually abandoned roadside like unwanted furniture. Then there are the rest stops, 12 service areas, each named after a famous New Jerseyan like Thomas Edison or Vince Lombardi. These are places where humanity refuels on pork roll, bad coffee, and quiet self-reflection before re-entering the wild. Yes, it smells near exit 13. Yes, it's stressful. Yes, it has broken people emotionally. But the Turnpike works well, and it always has. And like New Jersey itself, industrial, impatient, unglamorous, and essential, it doesn't care if you like it. Just keep moving, and don't miss your exit. Contrary to popular belief, New Jersey isn't all toll booths and Italian restaurants. Deep in the southern half of the state lies the New Jersey Pine Barrens, a 1.1 million acre wilderness that feels less like Jersey and more like a nature documentary that accidentally wandered onto the wrong channel. Covering roughly 22% of the state, the Pine Barrens sit on sandy, acidic soil so hostile that early settlers looked at it and said, "Yeah, nothing's growing here," then left. What did grow instead was an ecosystem so weird and specific it feels custom designed by evolution during a budget cut. Stunted pine trees, scrub oaks, entire forests of dwarf pines that look like nature forgot to finish loading the textures. Hidden in bogs are carnivorous pitcher plants, plants that said, "Photosynthesis isn't enough, I want violence." Rare frogs, orchids, and insects thrive here, while beneath it all sits the Kirkwood-Cohansey Aquifer, holding trillions of gallons of some of the cleanest water in the eastern United States. The Pine Barrens quietly hydrate New Jersey, while everyone else argues over beach badges. Despite being boxed in by highways and suburbia, the pines remain stubbornly wild. Forest fires roll through regularly, not as disasters, but as scheduled maintenance. The trees need fire to survive. This is one of the only places where the ecosystem actively benefits from being on fire, which honestly explains a lot about New Jersey's personality. Winding through the forest are tea-colored cedar streams, sandy roads that feel illegal to drive on, and the occasional ghost town, like Batstow Village, a preserved iron-smelting settlement slowly being repossessed by nature. In the 1700s and 1800s, bog iron from these swamps helped supply cannonballs for the American Revolution. Freedom, apparently, was forged in a swamp. And of course, there's the local wildlife legend, the Jersey Devil, a winged, hooved, screaming nightmare allegedly born in 1735 and still blamed for unexplained noises, missing livestock, and anyone getting lost back here at night. Think of him less as a monster and more as the Pines security system. Thanks to conservation laws passed in the 1970s, this place still exists, untouched, underdeveloped, and slightly threatening. A true wilderness hiding in the most densely populated state in America. If the Turnpike is New Jersey's artery, the Pine Barrens are its soul, quiet, ancient, and absolutely watching you. Stretching roughly 140 miles along the Atlantic, the Jersey Shore is a seasonal migration zone where every summer, millions of humans feel an ancient instinct to announce, "We're going down the shore," then immediately sit in traffic for hours to prove it. This strip of sand boasts the highest concentration of oceanfront boardwalks in the United States, which means nowhere else on Earth has perfected the art of selling fried dough, novelty t-shirts, and sunburn quite like this. The tradition began in Atlantic City, which opened the world's first boardwalk in 1870. That same boardwalk later inspired Monopoly, because nothing says family fun like teaching children about crushing real estate debt using Atlantic City street names. At the southern tip sits Cape May, America's first seaside resort, where Victorian mansions stare judgmentally at you for wearing flip-flops near a historic porch. Legend says Pirate Captain Kidd buried treasure here, which feels optimistic considering modern visitors can't even keep a beach chair unattended. Every shore town evolves its own personality. Asbury Park became a music hub and early launchpad for artists headlined by Bruce Springsteen, while also once hosting New York Yankees spring training during World War II, because even baseball needed ocean therapy. Margate City is guarded by Lucy the Elephant, a 6-story elephant-shaped building from 1881 that answers the question, what if architecture had no adult supervision? Further south, Wildwood doubles as a living museum of neon-colored doo-wop motels, frozen permanently in the 1950s like Elvis never left. Meanwhile, Ocean City remains proudly dry. No alcohol, just sugar highs, screaming children, and a strong belief that funnel cake counts as breakfast. Pop culture has done the shore dirty at times, looking at you, reality TV, but the truth is more diverse. Quiet bird sanctuaries, party beaches, casino skylines, family towns. And thanks to New Jersey's geography, you can watch the sunrise over the Atlantic and the sunset over the bay, which feels spiritually significant until someone yells about beach tags. Hurricanes have reshaped it, development has elevated it, literally, but every summer, the shore resets. Same call, same pull. It's where memories are made, wallets are emptied, and everyone somehow agrees to do it again next summer. Just west of New York City, where optimism goes to be value engineered, lies the New Jersey Meadowlands, a 30-square-mile expanse of marshland, where nature and human ambition have been aggressively forced to coexist. This is not untouched wilderness. This is wilderness with a lease agreement. For much of the 20th century, the Meadowlands were treated like the state's junk drawer. By the 1960s, roughly 5,000 tons of garbage a day were dumped here. Household trash, industrial waste, and assorted bad ideas. Landfills grew into mountains. Some of them caught fire. Others just smoldered, like the earth itself was tired of holding everything in. The pollution was so legendary that the Meadowlands became shorthand for environmental disaster. And also, naturally, the rumored burial site of Jimmy Hoffa. When you pollute a place badly enough, it becomes folklore. And then, somehow, it got better. Starting in the 1970s, cleanup efforts capped landfills, restricted dumping, and began restoring tidal wetlands. What followed has been described as a Lazarus-like resurrection, which is scientist code for, we did not expect this to work. Today, the Meadowlands host more than 300 bird species, herons, egrets, ospreys, even bald eagles, plus dozens of fish species thriving in water that was once a chemical soup. You can now walk boardwalk trails at Richard W. DeCourt Park, built on what used to be a landfill. Coyotes patrol capped trash hills. Peregrine falcons nest near highways. At sunset, you might see a great blue heron silhouetted against the Manhattan skyline, a visual that feels like a typo. Right next to the marsh sits MetLife Stadium, home to the Giants and Jets, built on reclaimed swamp. Nearby is the American Dream Mall, featuring an indoor ski slope, because if you're going to commit to absurdity, commit fully. Developers were required to fund wetland restoration to offset it. So yes, a shopping mall technically helped save a marsh. The Meadowlands are not pristine. Highways cut through them, old Superfund sites remain. But that's what makes this place a wonder. It's not a fairy tale, it's a compromise. A living experiment proving that even the most abused landscape can claw its way back. This is New Jersey ecology at its finest, stubborn, resilient, and thriving right next to a 12-lane highway. Rising calmly from central New Jersey like a monastery for overachievers, Princeton University is a historical artifact that assigns homework. Founded in 1746 as the College of New Jersey, Princeton predates the United States itself, which explains the quiet confidence and the buildings that look like they've been judging you since the Enlightenment. At the heart of campus stands Nassau Hall, a stone structure so important it once served as the capital of the United States. For 4 months in 1783, the Continental Congress met here and received word that the Revolutionary War was officially over, meaning yes, America technically ended the war in a college building. Princeton remains the only university to ever pull that off. It's also where the modern use of the word campus originated. Before Princeton, colleges were just buildings. Princeton looked at a grassy field and said, "This needs branding." Today, that campus is peak collegiate Gothic, ivy-covered halls, immaculate quads, and an atmosphere that whispers, "Please don't run." Academically, Princeton is stacked. It's associated with dozens of Nobel laureates and Fields medalists, and famously hosted Albert Einstein, who worked at the nearby Institute for Advanced Study and casually walked through town like that wasn't intimidating. The University Chapel is one of the largest in the world. The library system is massive, and traditions like alumni reunions turn the campus into a color-coded parade of people, reminding you they peaked here. Athletically, Princeton helped pioneer college football in 1869 when it played Rutgers University in the first intercollegiate game. It looked nothing like modern football, but still counts, much like a lot of Ivy League wins. The Tigers have more Ivy League titles than any other school, and alumnus Pete Conrad even took a Princeton flag to the moon, which feels unnecessary but on brand. Princeton has educated presidents, scientists, policy shapers, and fictional geniuses. It's appeared in films, inspired characters like Tony Stark, and continues to operate as New Jersey's quiet reminder that beneath the highways and diners lies one of the most powerful intellectual institutions on Earth. In the far northwest corner of New Jersey, where the state briefly pretends it's rugged, lies the Delaware Water Gap. This is the moment when the Appalachian Mountains and the Delaware River meet, lock eyes, and decide to dramatically tear through each other. The result is a massive notch in the Kittatinnies that looks less like New Jersey and more like something Wyoming misplaced. A water gap is what happens when a river refuses to go around a mountain and instead commits to millions of years of geological beef. The Delaware River carved straight through solid rock, creating a gorge roughly 1,200 feet deep and nearly a mile wide, framed by Mount Tammany on the Jersey side and Mount Mincy across the river in Pennsylvania. This wasn't fast. This was persistence. Nature with a long-term plan and nothing else to do. Today, the gap sits inside a 70,000-acre protected zone managed by the National Park Service, and it has become New Jersey's most convincing argument that the state contains actual wilderness. Bald eagles circle overhead. Peregrine falcons nest on sheer cliffs. More than 260 bird species pass through, using the river corridor like a natural airport runway. The Appalachian Trail cuts directly through the area, meaning hikers from Georgia to Maine all share one thought when they get here. Wait, This is New Jersey? In the fall, the mountains explode into color. In the summer, the river fills with kayaks, canoes, and tubers who underestimated the current and their own upper body strength. Humans have been using this gap forever. Indigenous trails, colonial roads, railroads, and now Interstate 80 all squeeze through this same opening. Because when nature gives you a door, you don't ask questions. You create traffic. In the 1960s, planners nearly ruined everything by proposing a massive dam that would have flooded the valley. Homes were seized, towns emptied. Then, miraculously, the project was canceled. Instead of a reservoir, the land became parkland. The abandoned villages still sit quietly in the woods, a reminder that sometimes New Jersey dodges a bullet by accident. The Delaware Water Gap is a gateway, a scar, and a masterpiece, a place where mountains step aside, rivers keep moving, and New Jersey briefly reveals its wild side before you hit a diner on the way home. In the middle of Paterson, surrounded by brick mills, row houses, and traffic that did not ask for permission, there is a waterfall so aggressive it feels like it fell through the wrong map. This is the Great Falls of the Passaic River, a 77-foot-high, nearly 300-foot-wide wall of water that casually moves billions of gallons a day and refuses to acknowledge that it's in a city. By volume, these are the second-largest waterfalls east of the Mississippi. Niagara gets the Merch, Paterson gets the spray. The Passaic River spends miles building tension upstream, then releases it all at once, dropping over volcanic basalt cliffs with the kind of force that makes engineers start salivating. One of those engineers was Alexander Hamilton, who looked at this roaring chaos in 1792 and said, "Perfect! Let's industrialize America right here." He founded Paterson as the nation's first planned industrial city, designed specifically to weaponize this waterfall for manufacturing. Canals, called raceways, were carved to divert the water. Mills rose around them, silk factories, locomotive works, paper mills, and firearms plants all fed off the falls. The first Colt revolvers were made here. Locomotives that pushed America west were built here. The constant thunder of the falls became the city's heartbeat, earning Paterson the nickname Silk City, and eventually sparking major labor movements like the 1913 Silk Strike. All of it powered by gravity and stubborn water. Today, the falls are protected as part of Paterson Great Falls National Historical Park, because eventually, someone realized that putting one of America's most important natural and industrial sites behind a chain-link fence was insane. You can stand on overlooks inches from the drop, feel the mist, and cross a footbridge directly above the chasm while questioning several life choices. A hydroelectric plant built in 1914 still operates here, quietly generating power for thousands of homes. Proof that the falls never stopped working. They just adapted. Artists noticed too. William Carlos Williams immortalized the falls in his poem Paterson, because nothing says inspiration like standing next to unstoppable force trapped in concrete. The Great Falls are not polite. They are not subtle. They are raw power in an urban cage, nature and industry locked in a permanent stare-down. A key reminder that New Jersey built America. And so concludes our journey through the 7 wonders of New Jersey. A landscape carved by glaciers, shaped by immigrants, occasionally paved over for a strip mall. In these swamps, schools, falls, and freeways, we find the soul of a state that never tries to impress you, and somehow still does. It's gritty, it's glorious, it's Jersey. And if that's not a wonder, what is?